It's been really hard for me to find Minidisc videos to do for YouTube now because I've already got 100 Minidisc videos up on my YouTube channel and there's not much I haven't already covered. So late one night recently I went onto eBay and looked at the ending soonest listings, and I looked for things which I thought would be interesting or cheap to buy, and I put bids on all of these items. So this first one was an MZ N710 player that I put a bid on. But my bid was £35.27 max. By the time I got to the idea of making a video out of this, it had already gone up to 53. So I'm not going to dwell on that one too much. Apart from the fact was, if it was cheap enough, I would have bought it, even though I already own two of these grey ones and one blue one. So moving on to the next one, this cassette player I didn't win. I'm just going to do them in the order that the bids ended. Some of them I won and some of them I didn't win. So when I first saw this one, it was up for £11.50. It included the battery pack as well, which I think I've already got. Now I've got two of these Walkmans, one of which you might have already seen my part one of the refurbishment of it, not refurbishment, of fixing it, and hopefully this time next week I'll be shooting part two, which will be the pinch roller fixes. But I thought if I could buy these at cheap enough price, they go for up to £40 broken. Chances are if they're broken they'll need a pinch roller. I've ordered 5 pinch rollers even though I really only need one, so I've got 4 spare, and the belts are less than a tenner. If I can pick one up for £40 that's broken, they're selling for at least £80 when they're fixed. So I thought I could make a video out of it, sell it on, and actually make a tiny bit of profit, or at least cover my costs. So I bid up to £35.27 for this, and it actually sold at £46.50. So I didn't get this one. So this one I actually got. I don't like using the word one because when you use the word one in terms of parting with money, it's not such a good thing psychologically. But my bid of £6.50 was the one that got me this Aiwa Minidisc player. My mate Inside Out Electronics recently did a video on a JVC, which looks a bit similar to this, but it uses the same battery as this. And I've always steered clear of these because the batteries are proprietary and you can't buy replacement ones. But Inside Out Electronics will hopefully be posting a video soon that has some sort of workaround for the issue of not having a battery for this. I've got my own workaround, which I sort of discovered independently, but I saw his video before I was going to buy this. And seeing this and knowing that he might have an idea of how to get around it and I might have an idea of how to get around the battery issue, I decided to buy it, and that's why they go for so little money. £6.50 plus £3 postage is what secured me this player. The item description says, as can be seen from the second photo, it turns on and then displays caution. So it's actually kind of broken. I don't know what caution means. I'm hoping it'll be the same as the Sony players that can't read the top menu. You know, the motors are stuck, need some lubrication. The description says you can hear the motor inside running loud and then shuts off, and that's why it's classed as not working. So I'm hoping that it just needs a bit of a clean and lubrication, and then I'm hoping I can get a battery. I think I can get a battery, get around the battery issue. So I will do a video on all of these ones that I've actually bought. There'll be a video for each of them sometime in the future. So this video, just incidentally, I've got a queue of videos. I've got some which I recorded a couple of weeks ago, some of which have been edited. No doubt one will be up on Patreon at the moment as an early access video, and they'll go live on the following Saturday on YouTube. And I might go to 2 videos a week because I've got quite a few in the queue. But the editing takes absolutely ages. Shooting them doesn't take so long, but editing takes absolutely ages. So I might go, I've got some longer videos and some shorter videos, but just as always, make sure you're subscribed. Okay, so next up is this sort of a bit of a collection really. It's a MZR 700, sorry, an MZR 70, an MZR 501, both of which appeared to be working, and there was only 23 hours, nearly 24 hours left on this listing, and the current bid was £31. And what attracts me to this type of listing is the initial photo isn't so good, so it's not going to attract so much attention for people who are buying. So I put a bid in on this one, bearing in mind the current bid was 31. I don't need either of these players. The one on the left, it just doesn't interest me very much, and the one on the right, I've already got two of those, and I don't use those either. But they came with the chargers, the bags, there was a pre-recorded mini disc and a remote and a box. I thought if I can get these both cheaply enough, then maybe I'll be able to batch them up and sell them as two individual ones for maybe £40 or £50 each. Make a bit of money on it to help fund future purchases on the channel. So for this one, I put a maximum bid of £35.27, but it quickly went up past that and actually sold for £76. So this is one I didn't win. Next up, there was some TDK finds. Again, this picture, although those in the know like us, we know that this is going to be a non-UK collection of mini discs, and typically a brand new mini disc will go on eBay for £2 each and upwards, so straight away that's got to be worth £10 for this listing. But these are Japanese only ones, so somehow these have got imported from Japan, and they're unwrapped, so these would normally go for about £25. That's what I thought. So I thought I'm going to put a cheeky bid in here. There was only one bid at £4.99, so I put a cheeky bid of just over £10 in there, and unfortunately someone else put a cheeky bid of £10.50 in and beat me on it, so I didn't get those. But someone's got quite a good deal on these, £10.50 with £5 shipping and handling, £5 postage in the UK. And that's what you've got to factor in as well. It's all very well paying, say, 15 quid for these or 20 quid for these. You've got £5 postage as well, when in reality it's only going to be about £3.50 the actual postage on this. So people are making a little bit of money on the postage as well. Not much, because eBay does take a commission on the postage of the item, even if they don't provide the postage. If you buy it yourself, they still take a commission on the total final value, which is one of the things that winds me up. So I'm going to move on quickly. Next up is an item again I won. There were no bids on this. It was up for a minimum of 99 pence, and I thought that's interesting to me. Might not be interesting to you. So I put a maximum bid on there of £2.27, and I actually got that item for 99 pence plus £4 postage, so just under a fiver. What I can make use of is the TDK D90 cassettes, although I've got quite a few of those. You know, it's worth a couple of quid to me to buy that. There's a TDK music jack. Now, I've got TDK colour discs anyway, and I think I've got some of these music jacks, but the music jack is, again, I think it's Japan only, exclusively from Japan. And I can tell, because it's got MJ written on it, I can tell it's a music jack, so it is worth a few quid. So probably worth about £4 or £5 on its own, that mini disc. But what also got me was the title of this, Plasminogen Magneto-Optical Disc. Now, you might know that mini discs are magneto-optical format, so that means they're read by a laser from an optical laser pickup, but they're written to using a magnetic field. Sounds a bit weird, very complicated science stuff, I'm not going to go into it. But basically, if you're writing data to it, you write it with a magnetic field and then you read it optically with a laser. And these are, I think they're 5-inch. I don't even know what they're for, but I guess they're from for some sort of data storage for computers in business. So I've never seen them before. They're 5.2 gigabytes each, magneto-optical. They look a bit like recordable DVDs, but they're actually magneto-optical, which is the same type of recording and playback as a mini disc. So I thought, you know, I'll put a punt on these, £6 odd, including postage. It would just be interesting for me to have a look at these, and then I can keep the the cassette and the Minidisc. So when these arrive again, I'll do a video on it. I'll probably do a little bit of research on these first of all to find out what they are. I'm no tech man when it comes to researching this stuff, so it'll be very minimal, but it'll be a quick video maybe to put out as a midweek video on a Wednesday. Okay, moving on. This is one that I won, and I sort of wish I didn't win. I've got a Panasonic SJ MR200 in orange and white. It is my favourite ever player, but it's quite beaten up. And in fact, I go to classic car shows. I know I'm an old nerd, but there are a couple of VWs. There's one VW that's going around the camper van that's going around the classic car show circuit. And every time I go there, there's sort of 4 or 5 members of the family. And the lady, there's a man and lady there who I assume are the owners. She's always wearing orange. They've got orange cushions, they've got orange table linen, and they just go and have a lovely day out. And I got talking to them the other day, and I confessed that it's my favourite VW camper van. I'd love to own it, just so it would match this mini disc I've got. So there'll be a link in the description to my videos for this. I called it the Panto Player because it was broken, and then oh no it wasn't, it was working, then oh no it wasn't, it was broken again. And what I've done is I've broken the laser assembly in it, and I really like the design, so I've been looking for a working one of these that I can just transplant the case over on. So I put a bid. There were no bids on this at first. It was $24.99. Well, the other thing is, as you can see on the screen, it says for parts are not working, but then it says in the description the auction is for blah blah blah. The mini disc player is fully working, and I've checked the description and it says it's working. So it's just got no battery, so he's listed this incorrectly. And I thought I don't really need it, but I'm going to put a bid in at $24.99. I was the only bidder and I won it. So it's $24.99 plus the postage, which is $4.99. So 30 quid is not bad, especially if the player's working. And then I can do the shell transplant and hopefully get my orange and white one working with new insides. But the problem is today when I've come to shoot my videos, I was looking through my mini disc player box for an earlier video I shot today, and I realised I've already bought one of these which is working, but the plastic screen on it is cracked, like the plastic screen on my orange and white one is cracked as well. The one I already own is cracked. So I suppose the benefit of this is if I can figure out how to get the plastic screen off, because they're not nearly always broken. These, if you sit on them, it cracks right across the plastic cover that's on this display. So it might be worth it to me if I can transplant the plastic cover on the display onto my red and white display, and then transfer my red and white shell onto one of these working ones. Then I'll have my ideal mini disc player. Ideal, except that it doesn't do long play mini discs. It only does standard play mini discs. Okay, that's enough rambling on about that one. Let's move on. Right, here's another one I won. There were no bids on it when I first saw it, and there were two actually. Two, I assume, from the same seller. Two remotes. This one, which is actually a RM MZE33, and it's a sort of white colour. And I think it's quite unusual. I've seen this one, and it belongs to a less common player. I think it might belong to a white mini disc player with a all plastic shell. It might be a cheap version. It might even be a cheap high-MD one, but I can't remember. I didn't do any research because, quite frankly, it was a bit late in the evening. I thought I'll put a bid in for £10. If I get it, I'll figure it out. It's always handy to have these. I think these are compatible with other players as well. So I put a bid on this one. Nobody else bid, so I've got that one for £10, and that's including free delivery. So there's no delivery to pay on that one. And the other one I went for is I'm just going to look that up now, off camera. So this one is I didn't win this one. I put a bid in for £10 and decided to pay a little bit more for this one. So I think I put a bid in. Let me have a look for I don't know. It was about £13.50 or something, but it actually sold for £18.50, including free delivery. So again, that's quite a bonus. Someone got quite a bonus on that one. The reason the guy and I've already got one of these. It's a RMMC33L, and which I think is the same as the other one. Yeah, the other one's a 33, and this black one is a 33L, and they're compatible with quite a range of Sony Minidisc players. And the reason he didn't get a lot of money is he didn't include the model number. If people are looking for this remote, they're going to look for the model number of the remote, and he didn't put it in the title, and he didn't put it in the description. If he'd put it in the title and the description, this one would have sold for maybe £25. So sometimes I get lucky with these things that I'm just scrolling through, not looking for anything in particular, just looking for something interesting that I don't already own. And someone paid £18.50 for that, including postage. So someone got quite a deal on that one. Right, so this last one, unfortunately, I didn't win, but it does look like a nice player. But I won't probably use it. But I've not got one of these. The MZE20. It was up for £25 with one bid when I first saw it, and I think that's what I bid for. I bid just over £26. I don't really need it. It's quite heavy, but it does take 2 AA batteries, which is unusual. They go in the end of it, and the display on this is quite nice. Which the display on the end of it has got buttons on the end with a tiny little screen on the end. It's quite an unusual player. It's player only, doesn't record. But one of the benefits is you can actually see through the window on it. So whichever disc you've got in there, you can see through the window a little bit. And I've always wanted a Minidisc player that I could see through the window easily on. Anyway, I put in a bid for £25. It was £3.29 postage as well. And there were only 3 bids, and it came out at £29.52. So someone's got a nice, it's a bit scratched, but quite an unusual Minidisc Walkman there for less than 30 quid plus a bit of postage. So that is it. That is all there is. So everything I've won, I will do a video on, as I normally do. This channel almost started for me as like a vlog, a diary of things that I was buying on eBay which interest me. And now if I'm looking for some information on a Minidisc or a Minidisc player and I look it up on YouTube, it's usually my videos that turn up, which isn't very helpful at all. But anyway, I'm waffling now. That's the end of this one. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.